This is your Esse One stove. With the stove you get a glove. Everything on this stove gets hot, and then obviously you get your tool, which does a couple of jobs. So this can be used actually for opening the door as well. And then it also can be used for de-ashing, so emptying your ash pan, which hides underneath the bottom just here. So you can remove the ash and dispose of carefully. Never put it straight in your bin, so always put it in a container outside somewhere to make sure it's fully cold, so it just doesn't obviously burn your bin. So really with this, once it gets filled, it does want emptying. Never let it heap up in the middle and bridge the grate, especially if you're burning smokeless coal. That likes air from underneath, and obviously if it can't get the air from underneath, it will then start to melt your grate. So make sure you de-ash it regular, but however, wood does like some ash in the stove, so never completely empty it if you're burning a lot of wood. So this stove has two air controls. This is the primary air control at the bottom, so when it's in the right hand position it's open, and when it's closed to the left. Same with the secondary air control at the top. Now the primary allows air under the grate, again for burning smokeless coal, and the secondary at the top here allows air from the top and your air wash system, and then it allows air through the back of the stove itself, which is what we call the tertiary air, which then comes through the back of the stove and into the fire. So we'll get this stove going. We'll just get it going with a little bit of kindling in there. Got one of the little flamers fire lighters, bit of kindling, we'll just light it. So we need both air vents fully open to the right, and the door just left slightly ajar for the first couple of minutes. I just want to get the stove really warmed up, and what we're doing is warming the chimney. Once the chimney is nice and warm, that creates a draw, which then means it's drawing all the moisture out of the stove, and then we can start looking at closing the door and regulating the burn. So we'll just give it a couple of minutes to establish. Just to bear in mind, during the first few fires you do have with your stove, the paint does require a curing process, and it does that through heat. And obviously as it cures, it will potentially give off quite an odour, it's a bit like a new oven type smell, but can put a haze into the room as well. It might just sting your eyes a little bit, so it's always advised to ventilate and just obviously eliminate that and build up gently over a period of time. So a bit of kindling with a couple of small logs, let it burn out. Next time, kindling small logs, add another log to burn for another hour, and just build up gently over a period of time, just to establish the curing process of everything, not to shock the paint as well, because it can dislodge it from the surface of the stove, and just build up slowly over a period of time. We've been going a few minutes now, so we'll look to see if we can just close the door. What we'd look for straight away here is if we did get any condensation forming. If we did, then I'd advise just to leave the door ajar again for a couple of minutes more, and just get rid of that. As the fire then gets established, so this is where you determine which fuels you're burning. If you're burning wood, you can look at closing your primary air control and then start looking at regulating with the secondary. You're then looking for a slower burning fire, but you can see how the flames are a little bit deeper in colour. It's burning actually hotter, and then because it's hotter, it's actually then cleaner. But obviously this is on a starting period, so I wouldn't really do this right at the beginning anyway. You'd wait till you get a bit more established on the burn.